the ongoing series of emotional intelligence, today we are talking more on self-management. Self-management is a skill that allows the individual to regulate their emotions, behavior and impulses in a way that supports the personal and the professional success. And of course, by practicing the self-management, people can become more productive, handle the stress better, make wiser decisions and achieve a balanced lifestyle. So let's have a very closer look on these. So the first and the foremost advantage of the self-management is increased productivity, in which the people are effectively doing, and the self-management will help the people work more effectively by allowing them to prioritize the task, set the achievable goals and stay focused on what needs to be done. By managing their timelines, they can actually complete more work without feeling overwhelmed. So, definitely let's have a closer look with an illustration in this regard. Lisa is a freelancer who writes articles for the clients. She sets a target of how many words she has to write daily, and also she was scheduling a time break. So, by allowing this kind of a structure in which definitely the breaks are also there and the deadlines are also there and the number of words are there, she is able to show high level of productivity without getting distracted. The next important advantage of the self-management is improved time management. When people practice the self-management, they learn to divide their time very effectively among the various tasks. The techniques like time blocking, setting aside specific times for the different activities and prioritizing the important tasks helps them reach their goals on time. Alex, a project manager who juggles the meetings, emails, project work every day, uses the time blocking to assign the specific hours to the different tasks, such as focusing on the emails in the morning, project work in the afternoon, and of course, juggling with the other aspects which are left in the late night. So, definitely, dividing the work at the different hours will fix his schedule and he is able to manage the time very well. So, this will help stay more organized, more productive, and he is able to meet the deadlines very effectively. So, the next aspect of the self-management is enhanced stress management. Self-management skills also enable the people to handle the stress more effectively. By implementing the strategies like relaxation exercises, setting personal boundaries, practicing the self-care, they learn to keep the stress under control and stay focused. Sarah is a nurse working long night shifts, which can be very stressful, and to keep her stress, she takes the long breaks, short breaks during her shifts. Practicing deep breathing, exercising very regularly, eating a good diet. So these kind of healthy habits will stay calm and focused even during the high pressure situations. Self-management encourages the people to think more clearly and avoid reacting impulsively. By staying calm and analyzing the pros and the cons of each option, they can make well thought out decisions that aligns with their long-term goals. John owns a business and is thinking about expanding it. Instead of jumping into the decisions, he carefully considers the benefits and the risk. They also seek to advise from his team and chooses the best option based on his future vision of the company. Self-management also involves taking responsibility for one's own actions. When the people practices the self-management, they learn to be accountable for their behavior and decisions. This accountability will help them recognize the areas where they need improvement and the workload becoming more reliable. Lisa, who runs her own business, regularly reviews her goals and progress. She holds herself accountable for her success and the setbacks, learning from the mistakes and adjusting her strategies to keep moving forward. So, being disciplined and organized and reliable, they are the key aspects of self-management which helps in enhanced professionalism. Yes, we are talking about another advantage of the self-management, that is enhanced professionalism. So, being having these kind of characteristics internalized into you, so it will increase and contribute to a high level of professionalism. Individuals who manage themselves well often have a tidy workplaces, meet their deadlines, fulfill their commitments, which enhances their effectiveness and their reputation. Alex, an IT professional, keeps his workplace organized and completes his task on time. His consistent dedication and reliability have made him a valuable team member and have earned him a reputation for professionalism. Self-management will help people to find a healthy balance between work and professional life. By setting the boundaries, prioritizing a self-care and scheduling the time for the family and the hobbies, they can maintain their well-being while also pursuing the career goals. Sarah, a working mother, uses the self-management to balance her job and the family. She prioritizes her family time in the evenings and organizes her day so that she can spend quality time with her children. This approach allows her to maintain a very healthy work-life balance and keeps her happy and focused. While self-management has numerous advantages, a lack of self-management can also lead to several disadvantages that hinder both personal and professional growth. So, we are going to take some common disadvantages of the poor self-management. The first disadvantage of self-management, if it is not there, is a decreased productivity. When individuals lack the self-management, they often find it very difficult to stay on the track and complete the task effectively without good time management skills. And it's also very easy to get distracted and procrastinate or lose motivation. This leads to a missed deadline, unfinished projects, and lower overall productivity. Let's take an example. John, an employee at a busy office, often waits until the last minute to start his task before he lacks a structured plan. He ends up missing the deadlines, doesn't complete his work on time, his productivity suffers, and this affects this entire team performance. Self-management plays a very crucial role in managing stress effectively. When people don't have good self-management skills, they may feel overwhelmed by the demands of their work, studies, and the personal life. Without strategies to handle the stress, they can quickly become anxious or burnout. Sarah, a student, is overwhelmed during her exam season. She doesn't have a very clear study schedule and often studies at the last minute. This unstructured approach makes her feel anxious and she struggles to focus and retain the information, which affects her performance. Poor decision making. Decision making requires a very careful, thought out planning. When individuals lack self management, they may make decisions impulsively or without fully considering the consequences. Poor decision making can lead to negative outcomes and affect their work and relationship. Let's take an example. Mr. Alex, a manager, they often make quick decisions without fully thinking them through. He doesn't take time to analyze the potential risk or discuss options with his teams. As a result, his impulsive decisions create a problem within his department and the team performance suffers. Lower accountability. Accountability means taking responsibility for one's own actions, both positive and negative, without self-management. Individuals may avoid accepting the responsibility and instead of blaming others for their mistakes. This lack of accountability prevents growth as they fail to learn from their errors. Lisa, an employee, often makes mistakes in her work but rarely takes the responsibility for them. Instead of reflecting on what went wrong and learning from it, she blames her co-workers. This behavior prevents her from improving and her team starts to lose the trust in her. Why self-management skills matter? Developing self-management skills can make a significant difference in achieving the success. With the self-management, individuals are better equipped to handle their workload, make a thoughtful decision, manage the stress, accept the responsibility. This not only helps in achieving the personal growth but also enhances the performance in the professional settings. So overall, we can say that self-management is very essential for building a fulfilling and a balanced life. Managing emotions, a key part of self-management. Managing emotions effectively is an essential skill for maintaining the focus, making the sound decisions and handling the stress. How to manage your own emotions? When we regulate our emotions, we are better prepared to stay calm, think very clearly, react in the ways that align with our goals. So, there are some easy to understand strategies for managing emotions along with the examples to show how each one works. The first is identifying and naming the emotions. The first step in managing emotions is to identify what you are feeling and name it. This process will help you understand why you feel in certain way and how these feelings might affect your actions. By naming the emotions, you gain clarity and can choose a thoughtful response instead of reacting impulsively. John, a college student, feels anxious before exams. Instead of letting their anxiety control him, he recognizes it and tells himself, I feel very anxious because I want to do well. With this kind of an awareness, John plans his study sessions to ease his anxiety and remain focused. Practicing mindfulness. Now, actually, mindfulness means being fully present and aware of what you are experiencing in the moment without judging it. By paying attention to your thoughts and feelings, you can actually manage the stress more effectively and gain a very clearer view of your emotional stress and the state. Let's take an illustration in this regard. Sarah, a professional, practices mindfulness by meditating for 10 minutes daily. During the meditation, she focuses on her breath and observes her emotions without becoming overwhelmed. This helps her stay calm and handle the stressful situations at work more effectively. Using relaxation techniques. Relaxation techniques are physical methods to calm the mind and the body during the stressful or emotional situations. Techniques like deep breathing, muscle relaxation, visualization help reduce the physical signs of stress and give you control over your emotions. Now let's take an example. Alex, a team leader, feels very nervous before a big presentation. To calm his nerves, he practices the deep breathing exercises, focusing on each breath. This helps him feel more relaxed and confident, leading to a better performance. Reframing the negative thoughts. Reframing means changing how you think about a situation to improve your emotional response. Instead of focusing from a different perspective, reframing will help you manage the emotions like frustration, anger, disappointment by shifting your focus. Lisa, a project manager, feels frustrated when her team misses a deadline. So instead of reacting and actually negatively, she reframes the situation by considering what her team can learn from it. This approach actually will help her stay calm, encourages her team to find solutions without feeling discouraged. The next is how to manage emotions is your seeking the social support. Now, sometimes sharing your feelings with others, family, friends, colleagues, can make your life more comfortable, supportive, helpful from the advice what will be given by them. Talking about your emotions with someone can actually trust and can help you feel supported and also find some new perspectives. Let's take an example. When Sarah feels overwhelmed at work, she talks to a trusted colleague about her concern. After sharing her feelings, she feels more supported, receives an advice on how to manage her workload better. Engaging in the physical activity. Exercises releases the endorphins, which are chemicals that reduce the stress and boost the mood. The physical activity like running, walking, dancing can help manage emotions like anxiety, anger, or frustration by providing a positive outlet. When John feels stressed about upcoming exams, he goes for a run. The exercises will help him release the tension, returns to studying with a very clear mind and a better focus. The second aspect, as far as how to manage your emotions is concerned, is setting the boundaries. Setting boundaries means redefining what's comfortable with a relationship and work settings. Boundaries will help protect your emotions' well being and ensure that you are overwhelmed with the other needs and demands. Alex sets the boundaries at work by limiting the number of hours he spends in the meeting. By doing so, he can focus on his important task without feeling overwhelmed by the constant interruptions. There are some tips for controlling your emotions. Managing emotions effectively is very, very crucial, especially during the stressful times. There are some important aspects as to how you can control your emotions, and the first is your self awareness. The first step to manage your emotions is being aware of your own self. Recognizing the emotions you are experiencing and understanding what triggers them can really help you address them very, very effectively. It will also enable you to observe your emotional state without judgment, which helps you react more rationally and avoid impulsive behavior. Let's take an example. Sarah realizes that she feels overwhelmed and anxious while preparing for an important presentation at work. Instead of ignoring her emotions, she takes a moment to acknowledge her feelings. She identifies that her anxiety is related to her fear of public speaking. By being aware of this, she can focus on claiming techniques to reduce her stress and prepare confidently. Mindfulness. Mindfulness involves staying present and observing your emotions without judgment. Practicing mindfulness help you become more in tune with your emotional state and enable you to manage your emotions like stress and anxiety effectively. Mindful techniques like deep breathing, focusing on the present moment, will help you reduce the emotional intensity. Let's take an example. Mr. John, a student, practices the mindfulness before an exam to reduce his anxiety. He sits in a quiet place, closes his eyes, and focuses on his breath. As he inhales deeply, exhales slowly, he observes his thoughts without judgment. This practice helps him calm down, approach the exam with a very, very clearer mind. The next is your emotional regulation. Emotional regulation stresses, strategizes, help you manage your emotions more effectively. Techniques like deep breathing exercises, visualization, reframing negative thoughts can really help you cope with challenging emotions rather than reacting impulsively. Emotion regulation allows you to think through your response and act in a very, very measured manner. Let's take our illustration to understand this concept. Alex feels frustrated after receiving a feedback on a project that did not meet his expectations. So instead of reacting immediately, he pauses and practices the deep breathing to calm down. He then frames the feedback as an opportunity to improve rather than a personal failure. This will help Alex to manage his emotions and respond professionally. Seeking the social support, talking to friends, family members, trusted colleagues can really help you process your emotions. Expressing your emotions, feelings to someone who listens can provide comfort, validation, and new perspectives. Social support reduces the feeling of isolation and will help you manage the emotion stress effectively. Sarah feels stressed after a long day of the work, decides to call a close friend. Talking through her challenges will help her feel supported and feel overwhelmed by her emotions. This social connection helps Sarah gain new insights and feel more emotionally balanced. Encouragement and positive actions and the activities. Engaging in activities that bring joy and relaxation is another effective way to manage emotions. Physical activities, hobbies, spending time outdoors can also help in releasing the stress and boost your mood. The positive activities provide that outlet for pent up emotions and help maintain the emotional well being. Mr. John enjoys running to a very clear his thoughts and releases attention after a stressful week of exams. By doing so for a run regularly, he feels more balanced and resilient, which will help him manage his emotions and stay focused on his studies. Healthy coping mechanisms. Developing the healthy coping mechanisms is very essential for managing the difficult emotions. These mechanisms might include exercising, journalizing, meditating, practicing relaxation techniques. Healthy coping mechanisms. They also allow the individuals to deal with the emotions in a very constructive way. without resorting to unhealthy habits like overeating and procrastinating. Let's take an example. Lisa starts journalizing every evening to process her feelings about a challenging project at work. Writing down her thoughts, it will help her gain a clarity and she feels more in control of her emotions. This healthy coping mechanisms enables her to handle the stress better and maintain her emotional well-being. Now, anxiety is a common emotional response to a stressful situation, but it can become overwhelming if not managed properly. Managing emotions involves using various strategies that aim to reduce its intensity and its impact on a daily life. So, there are some effective techniques for managing the anxiety along with the examples. Deep breathing exercises. Deep breathing is a very simple, effective technique to help calm and the nervous system and reduce the physical symptoms of anxiety such as racing heart or a shallow breathing. By focusing on your health, you can slow down your breathing rate and activate the body's relaxation response. Sarah, who feels anxious before important work meeting, practices deep breathing to calm her nerves. She inhales deeply through her nose, holds her breath for a moment, and then slowly exhales through her mouth. This rhythmic breathing will help Sarah feel more relaxed and centered, allowing her to actually enter the meeting with a very clearer mind. Mindfulness meditation involves focusing on the present moment without the judgment. It teaches the individual to observe her thoughts and feelings without getting caught up into them. Mindfulness can really help reduce the anxiety by encouraging a non reactive awareness of the thoughts, helping individuals stay grounded and calm. Mr. John practices mindfulness meditation daily. Before his exams, when he starts feeling overwhelmed, he takes a moment to sit quietly, close his eyes, focuses on his breath. By observing his anxious thoughts without trying to control them, John feels more relaxed and ready to approach his exam with a focused mindset. Progressive muscle relaxation. This technique involves systematically tensing and then relaxing the different muscles group in the body. The practice helps reduce the physical tension which often accompanies anxiety. By focusing on the physical relaxation, individuals can also help experience emotional relief from the anxiety. Lisa, who frequently experiences the muscle tension due to anxiety, practices progressive muscle relaxation. She sits comfortably and systematically tense and relaxes the different muscle groups, starting from her feet and working her way to her head. This practice will help release a built up physical tension, making feel more relaxed, reducing her anxiety. Fear is a natural emotional response to perceive the threats or the danger, but it can become overwhelming if not managed effectively. Managing the fear involves using the strategies that reduce its intensity, minimizes its impact on the daily life. So, there are some important techniques to manage this. The first, we have to identify the triggers which can be very specific to a situation and provokes the fear. By understanding the root cause of your fear, you can start addressing them more effectively. And of course, the next is you have to challenge your negative thoughts. Fear is often fueled by irritable, irrational negative thoughts. Challenge these thoughts, which will help the intensity of reducing the fear. Then is your gradual exposure. Gradual exposure is a technique where the individuals confront their fears in a step by step manner, starting with a less intense situation and gradually moving to a more challenging ones. So, this is really going to help. Use relaxation techniques like the symptoms, otherwise, the fear often causes the physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat, muscle tension, shallow breathing, relaxation techniques such as deep breathing. Progressive muscle relaxation, mindfulness can help you calm down your body. So, you have to build your resilience is another way to manage your fear. Building resilience means developing the mental strength to face and overcome the fear. This involves learning how to cope with the difficult emotions, handling the setbacks, and maintaining a positive attitude. So, this is really going to help and managing the anger, recognizing the triggers, understanding the underlying causes, and employing the effective coping strategies to control this emotion. So, we have to actually be cautious about our fear, challenge them, practice the meditation techniques, and engage in some physical activity, exercise, reframe your thinking levels, and of course, we have to address and seek the social support and also understand these aspects very, very meticulously to make a real difference and understand your own self effectively. Thank you so much.